Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 560. That's right, and this is being broadcasted live on Facebook as well on YouTube. Now you can find me at youtube.com/Joseph Clough. That's my preference. That's where I want to be heading more in the direction. So youtube.com/Joseph Clough. And if you haven't already realized that on some previous episodes, we actually did some live hypnosis. And one of the prerequisites of the live hypnosis was that those who showed up live, I took on their suggestions. So if you want to be involved in that, if you want me to kind of weave into your unconscious mind certain goals or aspirations or outcomes or whatever you desire, it's always good to just really go to youtube.com/Joseph Clough. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about goals. We're going to talk about dreams. And the way I see goals and dreams are that people get really, really confused. In fact, detrimental to the success of the goals. And let me tell you why. The nature of having a goal, the nature of having a dream, it will have to mean scarcity. It has to mean scarcity because we do not have it in our life. So we are operating originally from that starting point of scarcity. Now, of course, we know why is scarcity because we don't have it. That makes sense. And although we may consciously go, well, yeah, that makes sense. I haven't got it. It's a dream. That's why I want it. Or it's a goal. That's why I want it. But unconsciously, the unconscious mind is operating from that sense of lack. Now, if you think of a sense of scarcity and lack, it creates potentially feelings of fears or worries or doubts. Predominantly, when is it going to happen? Here's the two things. When is it going to happen? And how can I make it happen? And there, when, we don't know, right? We don't know when it's going to happen. Now, if we don't know when it's going to happen, that builds in a little bit more scarcity. And if we think about the how, most people don't know how they're going to achieve their goal. Otherwise, they would have got it. Most of the time. You might know a perfect strategy, of course, which is good and great if you do, but not many people know how to get to their goal. Now, that goal, maybe your goal is to get that promotion. Maybe it's to get that relationship. Maybe it's to get that financial monthly outcome of a goal. Maybe it's $5,000 or £5,000 a month or 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000. And we don't always know how to get there. And we don't know when it's going to appear to us. That deepens that scarcity, and therefore we get confused. Now, a confused mind makes us drifting in our mind. We're just coasting, we're wondering, we're second guessing. And sometimes it goes even deeper than that, because then we start to think, I need to know more. I need to know more information. I need to learn more. Have you ever had that experience where in reality you should be doing it, but you have that doubt that I need to know more before I start? I just need to read that extra book. I just need to go on one more class or program, or the next thing will hopefully get me. But usually we feel like we need to know more because we don't know the how. How do I get there? Well, let me go ahead and put it on its head. Ultimately, let's change the tides. Let's flip everything over. Now, if I had one wish for you when it comes to your goals and your outcomes, it would be almost to forget the how and the when. Because we've discovered the how and the when, although it can be important, it can trip us up. The key for me is I'd want you to think about your goal, but think beyond the goal. Now, one of the metaphors I really love is, what is the purpose of an acorn? You tell me. There's live, by the way, for those who are listening on the podcast, which you said in the beginning, but if you just somehow skipped all that stuff, what is the purpose of an acorn? You let me know. And everyone listening, what do you think the purpose of an acorn is? You may have even heard me say this before. Now, is that acorn to feed the environment, that squirrel, to therefore then survive the species of the squirrel? Maybe so. Maybe the purpose of that acorn is to become an oak tree, which will therefore create more acorns to feed the environment. Right? So now we're actually producing more. But is there something more to that? I think so, because maybe then those acorns can begin to grow forests of oak trees. But what about books, homes? Like, for example, in California, all these things are made out of wood rather than like brick and things like that. And think about those tables that you have. Now, all from that acorn. In the beginning, we may have thought that it might just grow an oak tree. In the beginning, we may have thought it would just feed the environment. But the depth of vision of that acorn can be as big as we would like to imagine. Because even that book, for example, maybe that book inspired someone, which then created a movement, a culture, a transformation, like a global one. So really, if we think about that acorn, it could be anything. It could be so big. And here's why I want you to relate this to your goals, your dreams, your desires. Forget about the how. Forget about the when. Think about, if you achieve your goal, what would that get you? How is that goal going to make a difference in your life? Like, is it going to give you, like, for example, let's take the money one. It's easy because it's more tangible. But is it going to give you more security and freedom, therefore you have better health care, or you have a better home or a better neighborhood, you get to be fed? Like, think about that. That's like the acorn, right? Thinking about, well, this is the goal. The goal is the acorn. But what does that acorn or the goal actually create beyond the goal itself? Not many people think about that. Some people think, I just need $10,000 or pounds or euros right now. But you don't want that. You want what it will give you. You want the byproduct of the goal. You don't want a relationship. You want what the relationship will give you, the intimacy, the shared experience, the connection. You don't want that career, or we'll go to that in a second. We don't want that career promotion. We want what the career promotion will give us. Maybe a sense of achievement, maybe a sense of growth, or then go into the money and like going on your path, all of those things. So we can think about the health, the relationship, the career, the money. But you don't want that. You want what it will give you, the byproduct. So if I were you, and this is what I do for every goal or outcome that I have, I think of the goal, but I think of what's the vision of that goal. What's the next step? What's the beyond that? What's the mission? And that's does a couple of things. So it gives me more motivation, because $10,000 is a lot for some people. It could be little for some people too. But it's just a set of numbers. And if you just say, look, I just want a pound or a dollar or a euro. That's my, or you could even be a vegan. I just want money. Well, if you have that pound, dollar, euro, you've fulfilled your goal and dream. You need a bigger depth of vision of your goal. You need to supercharge it with something more than just the thing or the word. I want a promotion. That's okay, but it's not great. I want a relationship. Well, yeah, you can have a good or a bad one. Think about the extra level of depth of vision, ultimately, like the deeper level of what it will give you. You see, when you understand that, you're now supercharging it. Now, the other aspect is this. What is more motivating? The $10,000, or that new relationship, or that career, or the thing that it will give you? Like, I think freedom and security wins over a 10,000. I think intimacy and experience and connection and love is better than just a relationship. I think that promotion is okay, but I think the deeper aspects of that success, that kind of empowered, being a leader or whatever role that you go into, is far more motivating to me. And also, what does it do? It takes away a bit of the scarcity, because you're not focusing on the thing, you're focusing on the byproduct of what it will give you. And that leads us into the second step. You have to then think and feel not the goal, but the thing that it will get you. You can think about the acorn dream, or the acorn dream or outcome, the purpose of the acorn, or you can feel that depth of vision of that forest, of that book inspiring someone, of the table, the house, all of those things. That to me is more inspirational, and I want to think about that more, because now I'm going to be energetically, biologically more aligned to my desire. And we spoke about this a while. It's almost like you have one of those old radios and you're tuning it in to the right frequency to get to what you want. Now, if you're tuning into the acorn and you're tuning into the goal, that's okay. It's not great, it's not powerful. But if you tune and tap into that bigger aspect of you, now that feels alive. So how do we do that? You write down everything of the byproduct of the goal. Everything. The peace, the security, the love, the confidence, the sex, I said intimacy already, the shared experience, freedom, power, strength, like whatever it gives you, right? All of it. And then my job for you would be, forget about the goal. Know that it's there, you've decided upon it. But focus on feeling those feelings the most. Even as you go to sleep tonight, think about the obsession of the feeling, not the thing, because you don't have the thing. That creates scarcity. If you get obsessed on the thing, the goal or the outcome, scarcity kicks in. But if you obsess on what it will give you, the feelings, for example, let's take, if it was a money one, if I focus on security and I feel secure as much as I possibly can, or if I feel I want, like I say, a relationship, and maybe intimacy is one, I'm going to try and focus on being really intimate in my life experience. I'm going to date myself. I'm going to honor that experience. I'm going to try and see how I can have intimate connections with other people, even if it's not as intimate as if we had a relationship. But I want to live through those feelings. I want to think about them. I want to listen to the music that gives me that feeling of the outcome of the goal. Therefore, I'm energetically aligned to it, and I'm not scared or scarcity or that operating from lack because I'm feeling what it will give me. Maybe not in the nature of the goal outcome because we don't have it. But if I listen to the music, which makes me feel powerful, now I'm radiating power, so therefore, biologically, psychologically, neurologically, we are in alignment to that desire. Does that make sense? That when we forget about, no, we have the goal, but focus upon what the goal will give us and live throughout those feelings. Watch that movie, dream and make vision boards, listen to that music, surround yourself with people, go to the neighborhoods where you want to be living and go, wow, this is exactly what I want. I'm going to think of, yeah, that's the home, but look at the environment, the security. Like, I'm immersing myself in, as much as possible, a real or holographic experience of what it will give me. Now, in any moment, despite us not having the goal, there are things we can do in the now that the goal will still give us. Like I said, you might not feel happy all the time, but if you listen to the music which makes you feel happier, it's going to definitely lead you into the right place. It's like you're clawing onto all the experiences that I can pull into my neurology, which reduces the scarcity. That is why they say gratitude. Like they're just like writing down the things that you're grateful for is a game changer. Because now you're not in scarcity, you're focusing on what you have. This is like the upgraded version of it. Yes, be grateful for what you have, but be grateful for what is coming your way and try to access and live through all the things that that goal will give you. Not the goal, but what it will give you, that depth of vision. Try to live as if you're like the acorn, like I'm just an acorn, but I want to be able to, like, I'm thinking about the book now, I'm thinking about the tables, like that's like so much more empowering, so much more aligning, that we actually remove so much more scarcity. Now here's the thing, I don't want us to think wishful thinking, because yes, we have to resolve our conflicts. I'm not here just to make you feel good, and hopefully I do make you feel good. I mean, hopefully to this point that you do, but I don't want you to think that, oh, well, if I just do that, everything will be rosy. No, you've still got to resolve things. Let's be real about it. Let's be optimistic. Let's utilize, see them as principles, see them as strategies. But in the same notion, we have to remove our limiting strategies, the limiting thoughts and the beliefs. Will doing exactly what I said just this last half hour or so be able to do that? Then you sure, absolutely. It's going to have an effect, but make sure you are working on resolving those conflicts too, the limiting beliefs, because I don't want to pretend that, oh, life's going to be amazing if you just do this one thing. It's still going to be a challenge. There's still things that we need to do, and that's okay. Let's see it as an opportunity. But the more things we can add to this process, it's going to just remove the scarcity. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got value from this. This is really about kind of demystifying the way that we achieve goals, rather just focusing on the scarcity because we don't have the goal. Therefore, when's it going to happen? How's it going to happen? Which deepens that scarcity and therefore fear, worries, doubts, and anxieties. And instead, let's take our vision to something more than that. Let's focus on what it will give me, not the goal, but what it will give me. Therefore, if I can try to operate from that place in my thoughts, my feelings, and my behaviors, it's going to allow me to do that. It's going to allow me to be more aligned. It's definitely going to get you to your goals quicker than doing other things. Let's put it that way. So with that, I'm going to finish off this podcast, and then we'll, once again, this has been broadcasted live on YouTube, which is youtube.com/Joseph Clough, Clough, Joseph Clough. And we're gonna end this right here, but on the live stream, we'll go ahead and review all the comments, or if there's any questions or anything like that. So, for everyone on the podcast, the app, and if you haven't downloaded my app yet, just go to freehypnosis.app or type my name on any of the, like the Amazon store, not any Amazon store, in the Google Play, I was thinking of Android, the Google Play Store, or the Apple App Store. Just type in that, Joseph and Hypnosis is going to come up somewhere at the very least. So I look forward to speaking to you in a future episode. You just always know that you're always more than you think. And if we apply these principles, life may never be the same again. We might break through what we've been going through. So I'll speak to you soon. Many thanks and goodbye.